Hey everyone, and welcome to my dungeon. Or at least it kind of feels like that. I don't have the best lighting in here. You can tell I don't go on webcam very often, but there's something I've been meaning to talk to you all about that I've been putting off. It's uncomfortable for me because it involves money. So I want to talk to you about what this channel makes, why it's not sustainable anymore, and what that might mean for the future. So obviously I make videos, people watch the videos, there's ads, and then I make money off of those ads. Generally speaking, more views equals more money. The issue is my videos take a ton of effort to make, and they usually go into a very long series, like 100, 200 plus videos. And when you have a series, the more videos you have in that series, each subsequent video is making less and less views. And this happens for everyone, like even your top YouTubers. They might have a part 1 of a series with like 6 million views, and by part 10, they're already down under 1 million views. So they've already lost a significant portion of their audience even after 10 videos. So imagine like 200. It's significant. Now, if I was getting their types of views to begin, it wouldn't even be a problem because that's just a ton. But I don't get those types of views. I get thousands, tens of thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands. So I have a much smaller audience. I'm serving a niche. It's, you know, videos for us 100% completion folks. So basically, I've gotten to a point where what I'm doing isn't worth it to me anymore. Not making walkthroughs, but making as many as I do, spending all of my free time, all day, every day, making these walkthroughs. So I've got essentially 3 options to address this problem. The first option is to just simply do less work. Now, the problem with this is if I do less work, I'll get less views, which will make less money, which then when I reevaluate it, I'll probably do less work, which will make less views, which will make less money, and that cycle will repeat over and over again until essentially at some point in the future the channel is dead. The second option is to try something completely new. Stop what I'm doing now and just go off in a brand new direction. And would that even work? Like, I've built my channel off of people that like 100% completion content. Would they want to see something else? And if they do, what is that thing? I don't know. I don't have the answer to these questions. If you have ideas, by all means, feel free to put in the comments. Happy to consider anything. But yeah, it's a risky proposition. High risk, high reward potentially. And then the third option is just to find another place to get paid. And honestly, we're really just talking about Patreon here. Now, I hate promoting my Patreon. I would just prefer a world where I make the videos, people watch them, and then that's enough. But clearly, we're at a point where that's not enough. So I've got to at least consider Patreon. And is there something that I could do that would significantly increase the amount of support I'm getting on Patreon? So, you know, kind of like going over the options again, I could let the channel slowly die. And obviously that would be sad for me. I've spent a lot of time and effort to grow this thing, and to see it just wither away over time is a bit disheartening. But at the same time, I'm okay with it. I'm happy with what I've accomplished on YouTube. I've done what a lot of people have not been able to do. I got over 100,000 subscribers. I've been successful, and I can be proud of what I've done. So if that's the future of the channel, it's just gonna fade away over time unless, you know, something dramatic happened. I'm okay with that. I can live with that if that's, you know, what ultimately ends up happening. As for trying something new, it's exciting. It's cool trying to, you know, break new ground and go in a new direction. But if it doesn't work, that would be extremely damaging to what I have existing. Like, if I tried something new and if it failed, I would lose all the people I was hoping to bring in, and then I would probably lose a large portion of the people that were here previously for the other content. So then I'm, you know, I've kind of torpedoed the channel. So my thinking on that is that if I was to pursue a new idea, it would probably be best to do that on a new channel. And I actually made one. I don't know if I'm going to do anything there, but there was a name that I really wanted, so I just secured the name. I made a channel with that name. I don't know if it's ever going to get any content, but it's waiting for me if I go that route at some point. If I don't do something on this channel, maybe over there. But nothing yet. If I do something, I'll of course let you all know. But the real question is, would we do something here? And I don't know. Like, maybe I'm just stuck in my ways, and I've been doing this for so long that I just can't see an alternative that would work. But it is scary for me. Like, I do this thing, I know that it works, I've done it for a long time, and trying something completely new, I don't know. I'm willing to give it a go if that's what a lot of people communicate that they want to see, but it scares me, I'm not gonna lie. And then there's Patreon. Like I said, I don't like to promote it. Normally, start of a walkthrough, I let people know that the patrons pick the game. If they want to support the channel, it's there, and then I don't mention it outside of that, which is kind of my preference. It's not the best for building it, but I don't like to like inundate with people with like, hey, support this channel, especially because like I don't need the money personally. Like I need the incentive to work on the channel as much as I do, which is why we're having this conversation, but it's not like I'm struggling in life. So I want to make that clear. Like, I'm doing fine. Just the incentive part for me to continue working as hard as I have on this channel has fallen off a bit. But given the state of things and what I'm sort of asking, essentially, I feel like I'm coming to you all under a different premise. Before it's like, hey, support the channel if you want, and now I'm kind of saying, hey, support the channel if you want to see it continue to operate the way that it's been operated. And under that framework, I feel like the onus is on me to provide you with more information. And by that I mean to show you what I've made, like to show you the money that I make, and then you can make an informed decision as to whether you think that I deserve that extra support, or if no, you don't. So I'm gonna provide that. We're gonna go through the money that I make on this channel, that I have made for the whole history of it. So that'll be something new. It will be interesting to see the reactions to it, because I feel like a lot of people think I make a lot more money doing this than I do. And I can guarantee you I'm not getting rich off of this. It's certainly extra money that is amazing, and it helps a lot, but it can't sustain me. It doesn't provide for me. I have a real job, and this is what I do on the side. It's like a full-blown job in itself. I put in well over 40 hours a week, but it does not pay the bills. So anyways, I feel like I'm rambling at this point. Let's go ahead and show off the analytics for the channel, and I never thought I would do this, but here we go. So, here's the lifetime stats, if you will, for the channel. We've gotten 56.3 million views, and that generated $137,810. Now, that is not the only money I make on the channel. I do, of course, have my Patreon. That is harder to get an exact number on because there's just not something clean to look at like this on Patreon. But I would say I've averaged about $150 a month on Patreon over the 8 years that I've had it. And that's, just shy of 15,000. So we'll just add 15,000 to this and say that roughly I've made $153,000 on the channel over its 8-year period. 8 years and some change. So if you divide that by 8, it makes a little less than 20,000 a year, 19,000, whatever that would be. I don't have the calculator open. Now, depending on what part of the world you're in, that might be a lot of money to you, or it might not be a lot of money. I live in California, and here the minimum wage is $16 an hour, which comes out to about $33,000 a year. So I'm making significantly less than minimum wage running my channel. So just, putting that in perspective, like I could go and get a minimum wage job and make a lot more money than I make running my channel. Obviously not as fun, but if I was just after money, that would be a much better option than running the channel. But anyway, since we're here, I thought it'd be fun to kind of like go through the history here. This first big bump here in July 2017, that was actually Crash Bandicoot. And then this giant bump was God of War. So this is like really what first catapulted my channel to the higher highs. This right here is the COVID peak. And then we descended from there back to like normality. let's see, September 2021 is when I got really burned out on doing walkthroughs, and that's when I switched to doing streaming exclusively. And I did that up to about, I want to say it was probably October 2023, so up until fairly recently. And during this period, this is actually the best period in terms of like effort to pay that I experienced in the entirety of the channel, because I was doing way less work and making basically the same money. So like the smart thing from a purely money perspective would have been to continue streaming, but I just, I stopped enjoying it, and I couldn't really do it anymore. So I went back to walkthroughs. I was expecting the walkthroughs to give a bit of a boost here, but it didn't. I had something happen in February 2023. I don't know what it was, but we had a bit of a decline there, which is where we find ourselves now, and it's just kind of been stuck here. So I thought the walkthroughs might help bring it up out of this decline, but it just unfortunately didn't happen. So yeah, that's kind of just like a brief history of the channel. And there you go. So that's what I make. If you do the math on it, it's about $9 an hour, assuming I work 40 hours a week, which I probably work more than that, but we'll just keep the math simple and say I make about $9 an hour running my channel. And yeah, if you feel like you want to support the channel on Patreon and you've got the money to spare, I would certainly appreciate it. But if not, just watching the videos is more than enough support, and I super appreciate it. If you got any ideas, anything you want to throw out, by all means, throw them in the comments. I'll respond as best as I can. Things get a little crazy, and I can't always find all of the comments, but I will do my best to respond to any legitimate suggestions that come my way. But yeah, that's about it. I feel like I'm rambling, so we're just going to go ahead and call it right here. Thank you as always for your support, and I will see you all next time.